If you meet a 3, they would never say that they want to have a party where they bring in everybody from all their walks of life, because at work they're a different person, at church they're a different person, at home they're a different person, at the club they're a different person, at the gym they're a different person, because they personify what they think the people around them want to see in order to secure those friendships and relationships. But because they have so many faces and masks that they wear, they really do lose sight of themselves.
Hey guys, welcome to the Christian and Tiffany channel. I'm Christian.
And I'm Tiffany.
And together we're Christian and Tiffany. Today we're going to be discussing the Enneagram 3.
Number 3.
It's going to be good. So we're going to cover 1, the childhood belief. 2, the stereotypes. 3, the strengths. 4, the weaknesses. And 5, how to relate to the Enneagram type 3.
So if you're new to the Enneagram thing, go back and watch other videos. We have done so far videos for 1 and 2, as well as an explanation as to why we love the Enneagram. We have done a plethora of different types of personality profiles, and Enneagram is by far our favorite because it really looks down into the core of who you are. It gets into your motivations and how you perceive the world. And the more you understand yourself, the more you can relate to your spouse, explain yourself to people that you're in relationship with to help them understand you better. And the most important thing that we found is that in studying each other's numbers, we just understand each other so much better.
So much better. Quick plug though, if you haven't subscribed, make sure to do so now. Ring that bell. Check us out at christianandtiffany.com. And then you can also check out our social media. So Facebook at Christian and Tiffany. So now that that's all out of the way, let's get to Enneagram 3.
So that you can be up to date whenever we release the next videos.
And the freebies that we give away.
And then if you've not done the Enneagram assessment yet, we do have a tool that we put together to help you figure out what your number is. So look in the description below, download our tool, take your time, really dig deep, figure out what your number is, and that's just the beginning. From there, you can really start learning about who you are and sharing yourself with others at a deeper level. So be sure to do that. Okay, Enneagram 3, the performer, the achiever.
The achiever, the performer.
The getter done.
Get 'em done.
Successful leaders of the world.
Absolutely. Corporate America loves the Enneagram type 3.
That's right. So let's talk about their childhood beliefs. So for the Enneagram 3, at some point in their childhood, in their past, they felt like they just weren't good enough in and of themselves. Their core being, who they are when they're not trying, was just not good enough. They learned along the way that the more successful they are, the better grades they get, the more they impress people, the more attention, affection, and love that they get. And they develop this sort of cycle in their life of do in order to gain security and affirmation in your relationships. So they become highly, highly successful. They're the straight A students. They're the ones that run for class president. They are the quarterback on the football team. Now, these are some stereotypes, right? They are the ones that are very focused on achievement, success, and looking good in front of other people.
Well, in the spotlight. They're always going to look good in the spotlight. They're going to know that. So they're your salespeople. Did you already say that?
No, well, that's stereotypes.
Well, you said stereotypes.
Oh, well, yeah, let's get into stereotypes.
Let's do it. Stereotypes. 2, stereotypes.
Now, with the stereotypes, I always have to say this. I don't like stereotypes, so we get them out of the way. We don't want you to see the stereotypes and think, ooh, I'm not a greasy salesman. That's not me. And then totally discount the fact that you may be a 3. Look past these stereotypes and really dig deep, because with all of these numbers, you're not going to be everything that the description describes. You're going to be variations of these numbers. And so just don't let the stereotypes chase you off, right?
Yeah. Well, 1 in 4 is a salesman. 25% of the world is salespeople. So.
Yeah. So they are the politicians. They're they're performers, right? Singers, actors. Some of the other stereotypes are that they can be two-faced, egotistical, all about themselves. Not really trustworthy because they'll say what they need to say to get what they want. Those are some of those negative stereotypes.
Yeah. But that's not all. They're strengths. For you too. Only $19.95. You can get it right now. I'm just kidding. But no, so strengths. And I think, at some point we need to talk about the difference between 8 and a 3.
And ones and threes.
And ones and threes. Yeah. So let's make sure
We'll do
that
that at the end.
Let's run back to that.
We'll
so
get you.
strengths, leaders. Threes are enthusiastic.
Oh, yes.
Very enthusiastic.
They're very image focused and they're relationship focused. So they do everything they can to put their best foot forward all the time. But they also do everything that they can to be liked, for people to admire them, for people to look up to them. When they walk into the room, you know it. They come into the room and they add life and excitement. And they also make a beeline for who they determine to be the most important people in the room and make sure that they are tight.
Networking, highly successful.
Yeah.
3.
They are very good at making connections with people.
Yeah.
They're really good at relating with people. And in terms of relationships, they're very dedicated.
Yeah. Poised, put together.
Yeah, poised and put together. In work environments, they're very efficient. They get the job done. I think we've already mentioned that, but very task-oriented and yeah, I mean, they're just highly successful, like CEOs. They're typically not just content being in the bottom rung of an organization. They want to work their way up. Threes are highly competitive.
Very competitive.
Very competitive, which can be a strength because it's a good driving force when things need to get done, especially when their goal and their vision is for good. And they can be very, very influential in the world and create a lot of good for the world because of their ability to fight until they win. For a 3, second is just first, last place. I mean, it doesn't.
If you're not first, you're last.
You gotta be in first place. They're very competitive. So let's talk a little bit about those weaknesses because highly influential and high energy people can also have that negative side of
Well, I think
their
it stems
personality.
from that core childhood belief that they're not good enough. So, you get some of those weaknesses, and there's weaknesses and strengths with every number. But some of the weaknesses are, they can be deceiving, they can be workaholics, manipulative. They can kind of lose themselves really to meet the needs of others. And again, those needs are very strategic because those needs are to get that success, right? So meeting the needs of others is a stair step to get to the success that they really want. They're striving instead of striding. They're restless. They can lose touch with their feelings really easy. And like we talked about with 2 of kind of losing themselves, a 3 that's gone, trying to please people can begin to unravel and lose themselves. And we've seen that a lot here lately in the mid to late 30s, early 40s with different couples that we know. Yeah.
So what happens with the 3s, because they're so image focused and they want to please people and they always want to come across as successful even if they're not, they sort of get into this habit of telling tales and kind of being deceitful,
embellishing
and even deceiving themselves into believing that they are who they really aren't. And so they start to just project who they are. And it's interesting because if you meet a 3, they would never say that they want to have a party where they bring in everybody from all their walks of life, because at work they're a different person, at church they're a different person, at home they're a different person, at the club they're a different person, at the gym they're a different person, because they personify what they think the people around them want to see in order to secure those friendships and relationships. But because they have so many faces and masks that they wear, they really do lose sight of themselves. And at some point down the road, they're going to have that moment along with 2s where they say, I have no idea who I am anymore. I feel like I'm faking it to everybody. I don't even know who the real me is. And so what they'll do is start to separate from others to find themselves. And we encourage all of you, especially those of you that are in a marriage relationship, that if you come to that point where you feel like you've lost yourself, you can find yourself again within the context of marriage. Your spouse wants to know the real you just as much as you do, and you guys can work together to really discover who you are deep down inside. And so
that's a great segment into 5, how to relate.
Yeah.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
I don't drink Coke except on special occasions.
Dr. Pepper? I love
water.
some Dr. Pepper.
I'm a water girl.
Or root beer. Ooh,
Ice
I love
water.
Focus. How to relate.
Okay, how to relate. So here is the thing. Remember we talked about that sort of core childhood belief that they're not good enough?
Right.
With a 3, if you really want to connect to them on a deep level, you really have to speak to their core. Don't speak about their performance. Don't speak about their achievements, their successes. Don't flatter them. Don't fawn over them, because it really just encourages the personification that they're putting out there. You just, I don't even know if that was the right use of the word. I'll have to look it up later.
Personification.
So speak to the core of who they are. If they're like, do you like my new dress? Be like, baby, you always look good to me. Even in your sweatpants, you're so beautiful, Or if your husband's like, I got a raise, be like, babe, that's so awesome, but I'm so proud of you no matter what. I'd stick with you if you worked at Burger King.
And drove Uber. But acknowledge they're being more than they're doing, right? So human being, not human doing. And 3s walk in the human doing and forget what it's like just to be.
Yeah. They also lose touch with their feelings, again, because they feel like they have to project oftentimes something that they don't necessarily feel, and they have to sort of restrain their real feelings because it may not be what other people want to see. And so when you're relating to a 3, it's really important too that you sort of pull out those feelings. Hey, let's just talk about, I noticed that you're kind of edgy today. Talk about it. What's going on? Give them space and give them room to actually stop and have to delve deep into their own feelings, because they're not going to have an immediate answer as to why they feel that way. They're actually going to have to be, prodded to dig deep and figure out what's up. So give them room to really connect emotionally with themselves and with you.
So what if you're struggling and you're like, am I a 3? Am I a 1? Am I an 8? What are some differences between maybe the 3 and the 1?
So 1s and 3s can both, be doers. Get it done. They can be really organized and administrative and be very successful. The really big difference between a 3 and a 1 is that 3s are motivated by what they think others want them to do and make decisions based on what they perceive others want them to do. Whereas 1s are motivated and make decisions based on their inner critic and their inner voice. And so they are willing to potentially hurt a relationship in order to do what they feel like is right in their gut. And so 1s are really instinctive. They think with their gut, and they got to make those decisions based on how they feel. 3s are feelers, and they do things and make decisions based on how they feel and how they think others want to feel.
So I think you meant to say, and I might be wrong, but
What
1s really will go on their gut, but not necessarily their feelings, but on that morality, that ethical of right and wrong. So they're willing to lose those relationships, versus a 3 that will go strict on feelings and can kind of set those morals or ethics down just a little bit to get where they're going.
So a 3 is willing to stretch the lines, to fib, to bend the truth, to get where they need to go, where a 1 isn't willing to do that.
And I'll tell you, when I was going through this and I was looking at the 3, the 1, and the 8, I'm definitely an 8, but what kind of made me lean towards 3 a little bit was the success, the motivation, the competitive drive. And so I was like, I'm very competitive. I like to win at everything. I don't care what it is. I'll beat my kids. I'm going to beat you in this game. And I love it. And I won't let them win, not even a little bit. They got to earn it. And so, I kind of thought I was a 3 for a little bit. And then Tiffany kind of was like, told me the difference between a 3 and an 8 a little bit. And what exactly did you say? Because I dropped that knowledge.
So the main thing about a 3, is that they're very, very focused on their relationships. Both 3s and 8s lose touch with their emotions. They kind of stuff because they're more focused on achievement. But the big difference with an 8 is that they are the center of attention. They really don't care necessarily what other people think. They're going to do what they want to do. We'll get into 8s a little bit more, but 8s are the ones that are willing to bulldoze people to get their success, whereas 3s are willing to piggyback and team up and schmooze and brown nose with people to get where they want to go. And so
well, I was just thinking, if someone's going through the 3 and they think, man, I'm very competitive, I like success, you might start to lean there. But make sure you kind of go through all of them in the assessment that you download that we gave you and really read through all of it and see what makes sense.
Well, and ultimately it was the childhood belief that was it for him. Because, with a 3, you have this sense that you're not good enough and you have to achieve in order to have value. With 8s, they feel value. They are very confident in who they are. They're motivated by this need to be independent, and they don't want to be controlled. Don't tell me what to do. Don't boss me around. Don't put me in a box. I want to be my own boss. I want to be my own business. They're entrepreneurs, that kind of thing. And so really it just came down to motivation. And for Christian, he's very self-confident. And for him, his drive and his desire for success is really for autonomy, whereas a 3's drive and desire for success is for relationship.
So we hope that helps you.
We can't be done yet.
Okay.
I'm not done.
Okay.
We're not done because with 3's, I want to talk about the variation.
Put a little in it.
All right. So if you're a 3, you may have a wing 4. If you look at the Enneagram circle, there's a number to the right and left of the number.
Right.
So if you're a 3, you may lean more towards the 4 side, which would be your wing.
Well, so if you just heard this and you heard wing.
I just explained.
Like chicken wing.
The circle on the right and
circle
the
of
left
life. You might have some of the
there.
attributes of this number or a couple of the attributes of another number. So you could kind of have some of the similar attributes. I was just trying to get straight to the point, bulldozing you. Sorry. Let me not bulldoze you. Wow.
I'm trying to be accurate here. I'm a 1. Okay.
I'm just trying to get my point across.
You may be a 3 with a wing 4, meaning having influences and attributes from the 4 side if you are more independent. If you do crave a little bit more individuality, you don't want to be cookie cutter, karaoke, you want to write your own songs, right? You have your own sense of creativity. You have your own desire to make your mark that's different than everybody else in the world. That would be a 3 with more of a 4 wing. A 3 with the 2 wing is even more into pleasing people, really laying their lives down for the sake of others, losing themselves even more for the sake of others. So if you're a 3 and you crave your individuality, you might have a wing 4. If you're a 3 and you truly cater to what others want, you might be more of a 2, and you can fluctuate back and forth. You also, as a 3, when you're healthy and you're in a safe environment and you're feeling secure, you're going to gravitate towards some of the behaviors of a 6. We're extremely, extremely loyal. 6s are really kind, receptive. They're, they're just really accepting, but they're also more self-aware. When you're unhealthy as a 3, you'll gravitate towards some of the behaviors of an unhealthy 9, which is to be more withdrawn and to really close off. And so that's why we say once you figure out what your number is, it's not over yet. You figure out your number and then you figure out, well, what's my wing? And then you really study your variations and determine, am I a healthy person? Where am I in this? Am I just kind of average? Could I really improve in my emotional health? Am I unhealthy? Am I causing harm to my relationships? And y'all, you can grow leaps and bounds if you really take time to study, and do the same for your spouse. Study
That's how we
your
know we're from
spouse's
Texas,
number.
because we say y'all.
Y'all.
You throw out y'all a lot.
All right, you can
I
do the
like it.
wrap-up closing thing now.
So that was the Enneagram 3 with Christian and Tiffany. We covered 5 topics today. 1 was the childhood belief. 2 was
goodness.
stereotypes. 3 was strengths. 4 was weaknesses. And 5 was how to relate.
And a bonus on wings and variations.
Or attributes.
Yeah. All right, guys, don't forget to subscribe, click the bell, email us at info@christianandtiffany.com if you want information, find out more, or if you're interested in some personal coaching involving Enneagram or other areas of life, we would love to talk with you. Also, download the assessment, figure out your number, and comment down below. Tell us what your number is, and keep watching because Enneagram 4 is coming out soon.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.